everyone. It is Sunday, March 5th. Welcome to ABC 7 Extra. Good evening. I'm Stephanie Guadian. For the next half hour, we will be talking about movie making in the borderland, what lures filmmakers to the borderland, and what keeps Hollywood away. So the movie Logan was just released. Don't worry, no spoilers tonight. In the movie, you can see a road sign that says El Paso, and parts of the movie look like they were shot just across the border. Not so. The movie was mostly shot in Louisiana and New Mexico. The reason has a lot to do with tax incentives. We'll look at why some are actually worried about the future of filmmaking in Texas and what the city of El Paso is now doing to try to lure Hollywood to the Sun City. Plus, the Las Cruces International Film Festival kicks off this week, bringing in stars such as The Big Bang Theory's Johnny Galecki, who plays Leonard, and movie actor Brendan Fraser from the Mummy movie. As always, we want to hear from you tonight. You can email us at abc7extra@kvia.com. You can also reach us 915-496-1771 or tweet me at Guadian ABC7 using the hashtag ABC7Extra. So joining us now, Dave Witt, the artistic director of the Las Cruces International Film Festival, plus Alfonso Loya and Hafid Abdullama, who are both student filmmakers. I want to thank you guys for being with us tonight. So this is a big week. The film festival kicks off.
Yes, it does. March 8th through the 12th. And our opening night film is The Tiger Hunter, starring some people that you might know. Got John Heder, Rizwan Maji, and also Karen David, and the director Lena Khan is going to be coming in as well.
Okay, so is this the second year now for the film festival?
Yes, it's the second year of being called the Las Cruces International Film Festival. It used to be called the White Sands International Film Festival, ran about 8 years. So we're close to about the 10th year right now.
All right, and you guys are doing great. I mean, the numbers this year are well above last year's?
Absolutely. We're getting close to double the numbers. And, you know, that's pretty awesome for a second-year festival to be growing this quickly, and it's due to the awesome community that we have in Las Cruces.
Okay, great. And now we want to meet a couple of the filmmakers. Now, did you both work on individual films, or did you work on a film together?
We haven't worked in a film together.
No, I don't think we did.
I mean, we met each other in school, but we haven't...
At MSU?
Yeah, in MSU, CMI. We haven't had the pleasure to working together, but I've seen his films, and they're good.
Tell me about your film.
Okay, so my film is called Thomas. It's about a homeless man who tries to reconnect with his daughter, and he has to make a last sacrifice in order for her to forgive him about a lot of stuff that happened.
Did you shoot in Las Cruces?
In Las Cruces area, yes.
All in Las Cruces. Okay, and what about your film?
My film is actually called The Wall in the Garden. It's about a lady, a mid-30s lady who just, she struggles, just like everybody else. But she had problems. She was a homeless person who just, all she wanted was just love, just like anybody else, really. She just wanted love. So she took an approach to achieve love which would hurt her. Pretty much she hurt herself, to put herself in a coma, to live in a dream world, just to achieve that love. Yeah, it's going to be showing on Las Cruces Film Festival. I don't want to give too much spoilers, so people can watch it.
Don't give up.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
also shot in Las Cruces?
Shot, yes, in Las Cruces. We used the whole crew from Las Cruces. Yeah, it was all done from, the only thing I would say is the writer is from Germany.
Oh, wow.
So that's the only thing, but other than that, everybody else is from Las Cruces.
And that's a good point. It is called the International Film Festival.
Yes.
Can you tell us about some of the other films?
Oh, wow.
Or where they're coming from?
Absolutely, yes. We have many films from all over the world. I mean, we got Argentina, Spain, France, England. I mean, the list just goes on. And the reason is, you know, International Film Festival, we want to bring a lot of films from all over the world so Las Cruces people can actually see films from all over the world and from other areas and other cultures.
And how important is it that, you know, some of these films are actually shot in Las Cruces and being shown in the city? The film industry growing in New Mexico and Las Cruces?
Absolutely. The film industry is getting, it's a boiling pot. It's ready to boil over. It's real close in Las Cruces to becoming a big deal. And Las Cruces is really behind the film industry right now, and behind filmmakers, there are local filmmakers in Las Cruces. They're trying to build a studio. They just made a Film Las Cruces, which is a commission and a board of people that are trying to build film in Las Cruces. They got a film liaison, they got a deputy film liaison, they got all these things that they're trying to put together to help us so that we're able to have jobs and make a living doing filmmaking.
How supportive was that community for the two of you when it came to making your films?
Oh,
Personally, it was very helpful. I mean, the thing about Las Cruces really is it is a small community, and everybody knows everybody. And it's funny because the film guys are just, as we say in French, it's a bon tout faire. It's sort of you just do whatever it takes to make a movie. So I worked with David. We worked, but not really close. But I can be an actor. I can be a boom guy. I can be an assistant. I can be anything. And that's the best part about Las Cruces. Everybody's helping each other. Location-wise, I mean, I used location. No problem. Everybody will help you. Everybody will do it for free just to help you out, to promote your film and help you whatever you're trying to produce. It's growing. It's getting there. We have a lot of people, good people behind this, and they're really helping. And eventually, we'll see the fruits very soon.
Can MSU prepare you for filmmaking?
Oh yes, of course. I mean, CMI was very supportive.
CMI stands for?
Creative Media Institute.
There you go.
That's the program in school for film. And well, they support you a lot. They give you the equipment, they give you the tools, they give you everything to make your film. They train you. Yes. And without it, it wouldn't be possible.
Yes.
Okay.
They did help a lot. I mean, the professors are awesome, and I would like to thank a lot of them. Ross Marks has been one of my professors. I've been with him for forever, teaching me and giving me everything I need, equipment, buildings. All it takes is just ask, really. Just ask and you get whatever you want. So it's very helpful.
Okay. So, and now these films are open to the public. They're going to be shown, what, Wednesday through?
It's Wednesday through Sunday. Sunday's the award winners from the whole festival. And so Wednesday night is the opening night film. Thursday, Friday, Saturday are films the whole time. All right, basically from 9 a.m. until about 7 p.m. Films are playing the whole time. And we got a lot of Las Cruces films. We got a lot of El Paso films. In fact, we even have a short program that's called El Paso Shorts, all films from El Paso. So, you know, we're doing everything we can to support the filmmakers that are locally based. And we want to show their films, and if they're of good quality, they're in the festival.
Okay.
Like these two guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So it's really exciting. Now let's talk about the stars who are coming to town. You got three biggies, right?
Yes, 3 big stars. I mean, we got Brendan Fraser. I don't know if you guys know who that guy is.
The Mummy.
Yes.
We know.
And then we got Johnny Galecki, you know, one of the main stars on Big Bang Theory. And, you know, that's the biggest show on TV
That's
right now.
huge.
Right? It's huge.
Right.
And then we got John Heder, who used to be Napoleon Dynamite. I mean, now he does other things, and he's just a funny guy. We got Rizwan Manji, who's been in multiple films, like 150 credits. He's just been all over the place. Wolf of Wall Street, The Tiger Hunter, and, you know, multiple TV projects as well. And
So
then,
are fans going to get a chance to be able to meet these stars?
well, you know, for John Heder and Rizwan Manji and Karen David, who is another star that's coming in, they'll be able to see them during the opening night film on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. The Tiger Hunter.
Okay.
Yes.
And for a full list of the films and the times, I know you got a Facebook page, you've got a website. We're going to put a link on our website.
Yes, we do. www.lcifest.com.
And what about prices?
Price. Well, you know, they can go onto the website and see all the prices and what they are and how it is. But let's go ahead and talk about the workshops, guys. So workshops are free to the public. All right. So you definitely want to check those out. We got business and film. We have screenwriting. We have game development. Game development's with a guy who created Color Switch, is the #1 game in the world right now. He's coming to Las Cruces to show people how to develop games. So we're doing everything we can to not only show films, but teach how to do it.
How do you think the growth happened so fast?
Well, I think that people are very supportive of us in the community. You know, a lot of our sponsors that are helping the film festival are constantly trying to give us more. The community is definitely 100% behind us. And as we grow, the community wants to help out more and do more for us. And, you know, and that's the biggest thing. I think the reason why we're growing is not only because we're working a lot harder to do things, our festival staff, but also because the community is just getting so much behind us, and Las Cruces is so much behind us that, you know, the only way we can go is up, because, you know, you work as hard as you can and you do the best you can. There's only one way to go. And
Well, New Mexico is certainly known for tax incentives for the movie industry. Albuquerque gets a big chunk. Do you have plans on staying in this state, or do you see yourself moving on?
I see myself here, making movies and getting the industry bigger here. That's what I would like to do, to hire people from here, to, you know, use the talent, local talent, and yes, I would like to stay here.
And that's another thing, you know, we have a lot of local talent in the borderland, both El Paso and in Las Cruces, but a lot of times, you know, they move on to Hollywood or to other places where they can get jobs, and so it's nice to see that happening, you know, in New Mexico.
Well, like I said, a lot of people are behind us right now in the community and helping out with the film to keep it going in this region. A lot of people, they leave because they can't find jobs, which is understandable. You gotta put food on the table sometime. But if there's opportunities here, I guarantee you can't be at Las Cruces. I mean, everything else is perfect weather, perfect everything for me. So if we have jobs, we will stay no matter what. Matter of fact, I'm in the process of developing a feature film right now, and I'm really planning on keeping it here in Las Cruces, and you know, Cruces, El Paso, all the all the whatever surrounds us, and I'm thinking of getting this guy here to help me with the soundtrack and a lot of other stuff, and so as well as David. So yeah, we can stay here. We can do. I went to Hollywood before and I came back. So you know, you can't beat this area. We just need to keep on going on, don't stop, and eventually it'll get there. It will.
Okay, and we should mention there's a lot of talent certainly in El Paso, but a lot of times they cross the state line into Las Cruces, or Albuquerque, Santa Fe, where there just is more work, right?
Yes, you know, they have rebates in New Mexico, and that really entices filmmakers to try to make their films there because, you know, they get 25% back, or if they work in a studio, they get 30% back, and that's really enticing to a filmmaker to save money, especially when you're spending so much money to do these projects.
And just to add on to that, I'm sorry, but I really don't see the border between Las Cruces and El Paso.
No.
I mean, we call people, you know, we know people from El Paso, you call them. I mean, I had a lot of actors from El Paso before, and vice versa. So it's all
It's
one
the
group.
borderlands, buddy.
Exactly.
It's
Yes,
the
it
borderlands.
is.
We're all part of the same area. Yes, we are.
But movie producers and movie makers do see the border when it comes to
Of course.
getting the rebates
Of course,
back
when
from
we
either
get to the-
Texas or from New
bureaucracy
Mexico.
stuff, of course.
Yeah, speaking, you know, New Mexico budget's going on, do you feel confident that these incentives are going to stay? Are you worried about any cutbacks?
I'm not worried about it at all. We got good people who are pushing the incentives to keep them going, and I have 100% confidence in those people. I know it's going to keep going, and you know, New Mexico is 100% behind film, and we know it works, and we know that we bring money into the state, and we put people to work, and they don't make minimum wage. They make a living wages jobs. Yes.
A lot of people to work, right? Because when you do bring in the companies, you've got the restaurants who benefit, you've got the hotels who benefit.
Yes, you have a lot of direct jobs and a lot of indirect jobs. I mean, one of the filmmakers, I don't remember who says it, but he said once, an artist needs a brush, a writer needs a pen, a filmmaker needs an army.
Yes.
So I mean, it's just a lot of people get involved, a lot of people eat, a lot of people. It's a collaborative job.
The secondary and tertiary effects are crazy. They just go all over the place, man.
Yeah.
Okay, here's your chance. Give an invitation to everyone out there watching to come out to the film festival.
Well, I introduce and I encourage everybody to come and help out with, you know, support the Las Cruces community. Come watch our films. My film, his film, all other films. There's always that one story that we can all connect to, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes,
All right.
it is. And I gotta say, you know, we have 20 more films this year than last year, so come see them.
Yes, please do.
Yes.
Okay, well, we still have a lot more to talk about. Still coming up, at least one Texas lawmaker says the state may actually have bigger issues to worry about than trying to get movies made in Texas. The changes new bills could bring if they are passed. Remember, we want to hear your comments tonight. You can call 915-496-1771. You can also email us. Welcome back, everyone, to ABC 7 Extra. Joining us now, El Paso City Representative Peter Schwarzbein, Borderland filmmaker Carlos Corral, and Dave Witt, again from the creative director. He's the creative director, I should say, for the Las Cruces International Film Festival. Thank you all for being here tonight. Part of our tease was that there have been some bills introduced at the Texas legislature that could have an impact on filmmaking in Texas. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, there was, I think, a few separate bills. One was filed by a representative out of Plano, Texas, Rep. Shaheen, to try to eliminate the program entirely. As part of the City of El Paso's legislative priority agenda, the City Council has voted twice now to make it a priority legislative item to work with our state lobbyists and our state representatives to not only save but increase the film incentive program, because we are the largest Texas city next to New Mexico, and New Mexico has been very successful with their film incentives, and we're trying to claw back some of that money for hardworking El Pasoans here.
And I just mentioned at the top of the show, you know, Logan, the big Hollywood movie, opened up this week, and I just saw it today, and it looked like, you know, parts of it were he was supposed to be a cab driver, limo driver in El Paso, and then a lot of it looked like it was set in Juarez.
And all shot in Albuquerque.
Yep.
Shot in
All shot in
Albuquerque,
Mexico.
and yeah, so I mean, that's got to be frustrating for you guys.
Yeah, you know, it can be, but, you know, we are competing with a state that is a lot more filmmaker friendly, especially when it comes to rebates and incentives. You know, originally what we were trying to do here in El Paso with the EP film movement was we were trying to increase the cap for Texas filmmakers to have more rebates and incentives, but now what we're trying to do is to save the program. So that immediately has changed. But yeah, I mean, and believe it or not, too, because New Mexico is doing so much more production work, we in El Paso are actually exporting a lot of filmmakers and sometimes a little bit of talent. You know, there's a few local people here that actually got to be part of the Federales crew, you know, in Logan. So that was kind of interesting to have. But it's, you know, again, we're losing people to that because of the better incentives in that state.
And the program makes a lot of sense. The Texas Motion Picture Alliance of states that for every dollar on the rebate, they get $5.50 in return on investment. So it's something that really helps grow the economy here in Texas as well.
Okay, and talk to us a little bit about how that works in New Mexico, the incentives.
The incentives, you know, we do get 25% back for anything that's spent in New Mexico and spent on New Mexico workers. And also, if you work inside of a studio, you get 30% back. So, you know, the incentives are very enticing to filmmakers to make films in New Mexico. And I totally understand what you guys are going through. If we were in the same spot you were, we'd be saying the same things. And that the fact that the state is completely behind us and is trying to help us build film in the area just makes all the difference. It really does. And, you know, the fact that, you know, if they're wanting to shoot a desert landscape or in El Paso, and we're just right next to you guys, and we have incentives that you don't have, where is the filmmakers going to go? I mean, as we all know, producing anything, and you know, money comes into play, and you want to be able to put as much money out there and get the best product possible. You have a little bit more money you can put into something if you have the rebate there, which means your movie is just going to be that much better.
So, Peter, locally, what can you know, the city council, what can El Paso do?
So we're trying to do as much as we can. We actually had not last week, but the week before was the El Paso Days with the Chamber of Commerce. Delegation of El Pasoans, both elected and civic leaders, came out to Austin to lobby different people from across the state. Myself, I met with Melissa Reynolds, who was the executive director of the Texas Motion Picture Alliance. I met with Chris Wallace, who is the director of the Texas Association of Businesses. This film incentive program and these rebates are on people's radar. They understand the value of it. They understand the return on investment for Texas jobs. And I was also fortunate to meet with members of the governor's office and other state representatives to advocate personally for this project. Also, the EP film movement here in El Paso has been ramping up their outreach efforts. There's a phone bank going on this week that they're organizing to go and reach out to those state reps across the state and in those different committees that can really help to understand El Paso's story and to understand those Texas jobs that come from film and television production. So we're working on all levels.
Trying, from a filmmaker's perspective, I mean, the borderland does have a lot to offer.
No, it does actually. You know, I actually, believe it or not, I'm actually part of 3 big productions going on right now in El Paso. One of them is a documentary about student athletes at Bowie. The other one, actually what we just finished, Showtime was here. They actually gave a lot of the Ohio law enforcement legislation a tour of our border wall, so that's kind of an interesting take for the documentary series. And actually I also just wrapped up, as we all know, our local R&B artist Khalid, you know, just debuted his album, and Vivo from New York, you know, their New York crew came down here, and I was happy to be a part of that crew. And we were kind of following him around, you know, kind of showing the success of what he had done. So there's plenty of production that's coming to the borderland. But what makes it different is that these are kind of short days. You know, it's just a couple of days, 2 days, 3 days. You know, where the state really makes the money is when we get TV shows that last 5 weeks, 6 weeks, or big movies that last for several months. that's where, the local economy can thrive because, back in 2012, we had a film called Unlimited that had a $1.5 million budget. It's not that big of a budget, but a third of that money, $500,000, was left here in El Paso because more than 50% of that crew was from El Paso. So they left wages here. And again, that's only for a small movie, 1.5 million. Imagine 20 million, $30 million movies. But the only way we can do that is if we have competitive incentives like New Mexico does.
And those jobs too, when you're talking about film, when you're talking about bringing it down to the mat, bringing it to El Paso, it's not just filmmakers, it's not just grips, it's also the hotels, it's the caterers, it's the production companies, it's construction workers,
Everybody
rental
rents cars.
it's the hotel motel tax. You're looking at these productions coming and staying and spending their money in our economy and having it add to the pot and growing it.
And speaking of big TV shows and big movies, I guess in New Mexico, I remember, well, you remember Breaking Bad. That was about as big as it can get. We also had big movies, though, like the Transformers that shot, and that really has an impact on the local economy.
Absolutely. These productions that come in, like you were saying, they need hotel rooms to stay in. They need lumber to build the sets. They need people from the local economy to come in and be extras and also work as grips and PAs and whatever they're needing to fulfill or fill the gaps within their crew. And that's what they bring to the table. And if they advance a crew member in New Mexico, there's more incentives even there. So if they have somebody who's a grip and he becomes a best boy on their set, they get more incentives there just for that. So New Mexico's really pushing, hey, we want you to work on these sets, but we also want you to grow and become more, or learn more and become more professional in the film industry.
I know New Mexico State has a film program. UTEP also does.
Well, and I don't mean to hit on UTEP or anything like that, but actually the state is a little bit more involved when it comes to supporting filmmakers. NMSU has a very big film program, which I believe was implemented with Governor Richardson.
Yes.
But unfortunately, UTEP does not have like a film program like the University of Texas at Austin, where I graduated from. It's completely different the way filmmakers are educated there. And believe it or not, a lot of students from El Paso who are filmmakers, believe it or not, go to NMSU for their film school, and then they end up moving to Albuquerque, LA, or New York. So unfortunately, at the moment, El Paso is exporting a lot of young filmmakers to New Mexico and to California and to New York.
And wouldn't it be
say
nice?
It's a bad thing, but but it would be nice to have them
Wouldn't
here
it be
at home.
nice to be able to have it be an option for them to stay at home and work?
Of course, yeah. It's always great, when you can stay home and work because you don't have to travel, but
Leave your family.
yeah, exactly. But it's one of those things where what we're trying to do here locally, all of us, and including Las Cruces. I'm glad that that the Las Cruces Film Festival came back. Just the fact that our culture, that with the Plaza Classic Film Festival and everything, we're still trying to keep that film scene alive, very much.
And a rising tide lifts all boats.
It does. All right, we still have a lot more to talk about. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You're watching ABC 7 Extra.
Traffic.
Take a break this weekend and let Avila's cook breakfast for you and the whole family. We'll be serving Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And if you want to take it home, don't forget about our convenient drive-through pickup window. Be a part of the tradition. Come to Avila's for the best Mexican food in El Paso, 6232 North Mesa.
Welcome back, everyone. Still got a lot to talk about. I want to ask you guys why. Well, not you, but why do you think in Texas right now? Why are we having these, these bills, these 3 bills, be put forth now?
I think that this is, in talking with folks there, I think that in Austin you have some sort of folks that are very much driven by an ideology that's, I think, sometimes more theory-based than practical-based. And it's, for some people that come from a position of wanting to be very aggressively fiscally conservative, this is, something that they can throw to their constituents and say that they're trying to cut the fat of government or whatever, not really understanding that, again, for every dollar of this rebate program, $5.50 get thrown back into the Texas economy, that it actually is growing the economy. So I think you sort of see that there's some budget issues overall with the Texas budget. So they are looking to cut in programs, and so this is just one that's being discussed there. But there's a lot of enthusiasm, even within the governor's office as well, to keep this program.
And not only that too, but originally when this incentive program started, it started with Ann Richards, and it continued under Governor Rick Perry. So I'd say regardless of political ideology, we have the numbers to back this up for the last 10, 12 years, just because whenever the incentive spending or the rebate spending went up, we saw more money come into the state. And when you slash it, we originally had 95 million back in 2014, but then in 2016 it was cut to 32 million. You did see a decrease in movies and revenue that came to the state. So, I'd encourage any of the legislators to just look at the history of the state's rebate program and to kind of take it from there, because the state has made money off this program. There's no reason to get rid of it. And I understand that with budgets and everything, everyone's trying to be fiscally conservative, but you shouldn't get rid of a program that actually works for the state.
And I mean, other states, they know this, and they're benefiting from this. It's not just New Mexico, right? Georgia.
Oh, Georgia especially. Georgia
Louisiana.
keeps growing. Georgia keeps growing.
And I mean, Texas is such a big state. There's so many different settings that you can have, and especially for here on the borderland, not only do we have El Paso, but we have Juarez. We have another country that I'm sure would be attractive to filmmakers.
Yeah, and the city is trying to work too to sort of work with the workforce that is here as well. After some of the work that we were working on with making this a priority agenda item, we actually had Heather Page, who is the film commissioner of the state, come into El Paso to meet with the filmmakers, to meet with our film commission here, and to listen to what the city was doing. And so based upon that meeting and the input from the community, we're actually working on a series of workforce training to better equip the workforce that we have here and grow it. So when those bigger productions come in, we have people that are better educated, we have a larger pool that's there, so we can get more of those dollars into our local economy.
And that's actually one of the biggest advantages that New Mexico has. I believe you guys still have the Film Technician Training Program, FTTP?
Yes, we do over at NMSU. Yes,
Yeah, that's one of those programs where, again, because it's part of the film school and it's also backed by the state, people can learn on how to actually, conduct themselves on an actual film set. And that's one of the things, unfortunately, that the UTEP film school lacks. But that's the kind of stuff that we're trying to implement here in El Paso, so that we can keep people here, and also for all the new people that want to become involved with the film industry, we can teach them. We'll have an agenda and a syllabus to actually teach them. This is what it takes to be to be part of a film production.
Yeah, and now that New Mexico, they have the tax incentives there. The city of Las Cruces, though, is actually trying to take a couple steps forward and continue to lure Hollywood. How is that happening?
Absolutely. Well, of course, they're taking strides to building a soundstage, and they also have the Film Las Cruces and a film liaison and a deputy film liaison, which kind of acts like a hub for the whole borderlands right now. Film companies can call Las Cruces and say, hey, we're looking for this certain location. The film liaison can say, hey, we have that location. Plus, we have these awesome incentives. Come take a look. And they come take a look, and they see it's a great location, and they see the amazing backdrops of Las Cruces. The Organ Mountains Desert Peak National Monument.
White Sands.
White Sands. White Sands Missile Range. There's just so many different locations that are just right there waiting.
Yeah. Plus, we have Spaceport now.
Yes,
right?
and Spaceport America, man. It's just so many places right there around Las Cruces, which is perfect as a hub for that area.
Don't forget Alamogordo. They found ET in the landfill, so that's also kind of a big thing now.
Oro Grande could be used for some westerns or something.
Hatch, it's just there's so many places down south that Las Cruces can act as the hub for, and that's why they see that and they understand that and they go, hey, why don't we go ahead and do it?
Yeah.
And we have a lot of good people behind it, a lot of people that are really pushing it, and the reason why that it's starting to grow and go in the right direction is because we have those people and good people who understand that the film industry works, and that even though the state pays a lot of money to these film productions, the secondary and tertiary effects and the amount of people that get affected, businesses, their amount of income grows. People, their amount of income grows. Just because a film production comes to your state and works there for a certain amount of time, you know, like you're saying, a TV show, they could be filming for 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
That's
Or
4 or 5
years.
months.
Or
Yeah.
years.
Or years, yeah. And, you know, that's just full-time work for a filmmaker right there, and that's what Albuquerque has already done and what Las Cruces wants to do the same thing.
Okay, final thoughts, how, moving forward, anything anybody who's watching tonight can do?
Call your representatives. Actually, believe it or not, you can call our district representatives. Mine is District 78, Joe Moody. You know, and also Marissa Marquez, who I believe is District 77. She was actually one of the co-sponsors when. Oh, she's no longer. I'm sorry. I'm not. Again, I know my
Yeah.
district. I don't know anyone else's
Yeah.
district. But actually, but if I can go back to Marissa Marquez, she actually co-sponsored one of the first legislations that actually brought the Texas Motion Picture Incentives Program to the floor. So that's always great that, you know, even in El Pasoans are co-sponsoring. So I mean, as long as our legislators can keep co-sponsoring and try to defeat bills like this, you know, that's the most that we can do. But of course, all of us, we need to call our own representatives to have them do that.
And certainly City of El Paso is supporting this.
Yeah, we just had a legislative update in our previous city council meeting, sort of tweaked and had a better idea and understanding about how to achieve those goals and the path forward. So right now, our state lobbyists and our city's lobbyists are all working aggressively for our city's goals to get jobs here and grow our economy.
But most importantly, filmmakers, keep making movies. That's the
Yeah.
best advice I can give you.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for
Thank you
staying
very
up
much.
late with us tonight and sharing your expertise. Really appreciate it. Film Festival starts on Wednesday.
Yes, March 8th through the 12th, people. I'll see you there.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Stephanie Guadian. This has been ABC 7 Extra.